You might have heard that it's important to have a photographic style so that your photos are recognizable or so that you have a cohesive brand or a whole bunch of other stuff. Well, is it important? What the heck is a photographic style? Today, we're going to talk about all of that. What exactly is photographic style? It is kind of important to develop that, but it's nothing to stress out about. And we're going to talk about how exactly you develop your photographic style. Hi, I'm Diane, and this is the PhotoFluent channel. And here we teach travelers like you how to create photos that you absolutely love and can't wait to share. If learning about camera settings and creativity, mindset stuff, and yes, photographic style and editing sound like some cool topics that you'd like to know more about, make sure you subscribe. And don't forget to click that little bell, and then you'll get all the notifications with new videos. Okay, let's jump into our topic today, which is photographic style. The first question, the real question to ask yourself is, why? Why do you even create photos in the first place? What kind of photos do you like to create? What kind of photos make you feel happy to create and to look at later? What kind of environments make you feel energetic and excited to be there and want to get your camera out and take photos? Let's talk about some examples. You might really love the peace and quiet of a landscape at sunrise. No other human around, just you, maybe your tripod, your camera, and the golden hours. On the other hand, you might love the bustling plaza of a downtown Spanish city and all the people and the movement and the food and the excitement. And here's the other thing, you might like both. As we're talking through photographic style, the one thing I want you to remember is that you don't have to just pick one. It's not a checkbox where you get one choice. I have to take photos of this, and this is what my style will look like. Let's just take that out of the discussion right now. Because if you connect with who you are and what you love to do, then your work will reflect that. Okay, let's talk about what the heck is photographic style. Well, your style is a reflection of who you are and how you interpret what you're looking at. So part of photography is looking at a scene, bringing up your camera, picking out your settings and taking a photo, right? But it's also about how you interpret it, because which settings you pick, what angle you choose, how you compose the photo, what sort of exposures you choose, all of that goes into how you're interpreting the scene. So if you're thinking, oh, great, now I have to figure out exposure settings and composition and editing later, and now I have to throw in photographic style. No, let's not worry about it, because it isn't just one more thing to learn. Photographic style is wrapped into all the other stuff that you're already learning how to do. Now, if this is something you've thought about before, if you've heard, yeah, I need a photographic style, and you've wondered about it, give me a like on the video. The next question I want to ask is, do you even need a photographic style? If you're a travel content creator, then it is important to have a brand, a cohesiveness that does include your photography. So if you look through your Instagram feed and there are these outliers that really look like somebody else took the photo, then that's your first clue that maybe your brand, your style isn't super cohesive. Now, that doesn't mean that all your photos have to look exactly the same. So let's talk about how the heck do you find this photographic style? Well, we talked about the why and doing something that feels good, that feels fun, that's enjoyable. And by doing something that feels good and feels natural, that's when your voice starts to show through in your photos and your images. Even if we're just talking about travel photography, there are different ways to capture what you're experiencing when you travel, right? You can have kind of dark and moody, more focused on light and shadows and the shapes that you see in those lights and shadows, or you can have bright, happy, energetic with a lot of people in them. So there's different ways to interpret what you're seeing, what you're experiencing. An example, back in the day, my photographic style included 0 people. I liked clean environments with no people. I don't know why. That's just the way I shot. So even a busy place like Machu Picchu, I would wait for the group to leave the frame and then I'd create my photos. Now, I like people in my photos. I think it adds an element of context and energy, and I enjoy seeing people in my photos where before I didn't want them there. And now I embrace it even more to take close-ups of people and people actually specifically doing things in my photo or walking through a frame. So that's how my style has changed. Now I want people in my photo. I enjoy taking street portraits. And the best way to identify your photography style is to look back at old photos. If you have an Instagram feed, that's a great place to do it. Just look back for the last however many years you've been on Instagram, and sometimes you can really see how your style has changed, how it's developed. The other way, if you don't really have a big portfolio of images to look at from past history, or you look at them and don't really see a pattern, they're kind of all over the place, that's completely normal. We all started out that way, where you might look at other photographers' style. That gives you an idea of what style means. So look at Sally Mann and Henri Cartier-Bresson, Vivian Mayer. Look at other photographers and you can see what their photos look like in general, how they're different than yours. So look at other photographers' work, but don't stop there. Look at other things that inspire you, like art, painting, sculpture, theater, even nature. You can find inspiration and you can figure out what makes you feel good. And give those styles and other genres a try. The food photography, try portraits or street or still life. All of those are going to only make your travel photography better, because the more you figure out what you like, what inspires you, what drives you, the more you'll get better at it. You'll enjoy it and you'll start to see that style come through, but your skills will also improve. And think about when you travel, there are people and food, shadows, light, all of the things you're going to be experimenting and playing with are there during your travel experiences. So your skills are going to get better, your style will emerge, and it will all make you a better photographer, and it will make your blog or your articles even more spectacular. So as you're exploring and playing, listen, observe, and think about what moves you. Now, as you can probably tell by the conversation we've had so far, there is no formula. There's no boxes that you check to figure out what your photographic style is. A lot of it is experimenting and playing, and like I said, observing and looking at your photos, looking at other people's photos, trying on those different hats, different styles, seeing how they feel. Does it resonate with you to really focus on the details or try the playing with shadows and light? Is that something that you try out and think, this is so much fun? And you just haven't tried it before, so you didn't know. That is what will help your style develop and grow. But also, your style will continue to develop. It will continue to grow. It grows with your photography skills and with your relationship with yourself and how you grow as a human. So it's not something that you just arrive, like I said, and you check the box, the formula has been completed, I have a style. You will start to develop a style as you play with different genres, as you play with different styles, as you see other photographer stuff, and give it a try. So you'll start to see what feels good, what you like, what inspires you. Then that pattern will start to emerge, but guess what? You can have a different style with different genres too. For my still life, when I do food and when I'm taking pictures of food, I like it to be on the dark side and have really obvious shadows and interesting play with light. But when I'm traveling, I like brighter, colorful kinds of things and scenes. So it doesn't have to be so defined. So ultimately, it's about creating images that have your voice. And the first step, and maybe the biggest step of all, is finding your voice. Now, if you would like some help in finding your photography voice and style and developing your camera skills, make sure you check out the PhotoFluent Collective. It's our photography membership exclusively for female travelers. And of course, I will link to that below. So make sure you let me know in the comments what your style is if you have one. And if you have photographers who you like their style, who inspire you, make sure you share those in the comments, because I would love to hear them, and I'm sure my community would love to learn about them too. Thanks for tuning in today, and I will see you in the next video.